Are you ready?
My name is Vanta.
We're going to stay up close and personal. We're going to stay in the presence of understanding what an addiction is. So if I can have your attention for a little bit, you're going to understand what addiction absolutely means to you. If you look up addiction and you go and read it, and I'm going to ask Mark to put it up for me, and you'll see, read it then, what it says. So what does it say? Okay, 1, it's a noun. 2, it's you being under the influence of a substance, a thing, or something, right? So let's go on to what I want to bring your focus and attention to. It's not so much that it's an addiction, it's how the way you feel about how it interacts with you, right? So think of it, let's change addiction to a pick-me-up. So it kind of changes the way you are feeling. So you do something, and now you feel that it picked you up. You felt good, right? So now you want more of it. So the body now is saying, I want more of it. The dependency of it that you now becoming addicted is because of the way it makes you feel, right? So in understanding this premise here, we're going to start de-webbing, for a lack of a better word, okay, or detangling, which would be a clearer word, or unraveling. Well, now it starts now. You're starting to get like, oh, I can understand that, because everybody has this premises, okay, of the word addiction. It has kind of a negative connotation to it, but we're all addicted to something because of the way it makes us feel, right? So we want to kind of break it down, and that's why today's conversation is addiction, ... because there are so many layers to what you could be addicted to. You could be addicted to a person, you could be addicted to a conversation, you could be addicted to a thing, you could be addicted to a place, you could be addicted to so many different realms and sets of segments of frequency and vibration and energy that you don't even realize consciously that you are in this addiction phase, right? So let's look at what is making me feel good. Well, that's another way of being addicted, right? If it makes you feel good. Now, there is the addiction on the other spectrum, which brings you the contrast and the negative reactions to it. Most of us are addicted to things that also create a negative charge. Being addicted to a conversation in the past, being addicted to being angry, being addicted to not feeling good, being addicted to bring yourself down, being addicted to being the victim, being addicted to certain circumstances because it makes you feel that, right? Did we get that? And when I say did we get that, so it's the way you kind of thinking. So up close and personal today was this conversation, because addiction is a noun, right? But what is addiction to you? When you close your eyes, go, I'm addicted to ... We are addicted to everything, to our best friends, to the patterns that we create, to the conversations that we have, to judgments of self, to self-love of ourselves or others, or observance or conflict, or all these things. Now I want to move away from it so that you're able to come in and go, okay, so there is an addiction on any spectrum in every realm. How does it make me feel, right? Because it's bringing something that is negatively charged so that you're able to redirect it and become addicted to something that is serving your higher good, that it's bringing a benevolence to your life, or it's bringing a good feeling to the way you are reacting or responding to something or something other than a reactive response to what you think you're addicted to. Make sense? So let me break this down a little bit more. When we go into conversations of our social spectrum, addiction has a negative connotation already because it's related to either sex or drugs or porn or a negative charge, which brings in, okay, now alcohol, substances that alter your state of being. I always love this challenge because that's when you measure people. That's where you measure where you are when you are in an altered state, like being super, super tired. How many people do you know that when they get super exhausted, super tired, they become ratty, nasty, mean, and unraveled? They can't think. Measure yourself there when you're super, super, super tired, right? How about when you like in a state of survival, like money, when people are broke? Okay, do you have a sense of bringing the sense of going into prayer or becoming like the contrast of that? Who are you, okay, in those circumstances when you are financially challenged and feeling broke? Are you still a great person, or do you become like a person that is unraveling themselves to their core, and now you're operating out of fear and you're prepared to go take it from somebody else because you don't have? These are things that you've got to measure within yourself of who you're being in these altered states. Okay? What about the epitome of, for example, being drunk? Okay? Who are you in this state of being? Are you a kind person? Are you a depressed person? Are you an angry person? Or are you just like a happy-go-lucky person? Who are you? Now, I'm not saying, go and be drunk, go and be broke, but who are you? And that's the space of who are you being addicted to? What is your addiction? Is your addiction driving you into a state of being where you are not yourself, okay, or you're expressing aspects of a disorder, right? Because anything that is in the body that is creating a chemical reaction that you can feel you are not serving yourself anymore, 3 days. 3 days, you can flush it out of your system. In 3 days, you can flush it out. Poisons, toxins, metal, 3 days, you can flush it out. What you can't do in 3 days, or you could do in 3 days, is the psychological, mental aspect of the way you feel and who you are being. That takes much longer. So it's who you are being and the quality of your thoughts in this alignment that make the biggest difference of all. What are you addicted to, and how did you get into this addiction? And how do you feel about it? That becomes now your psychology, your premise of your habits, your subconscious thought of how you're connecting because of how you feel. And who are you being? And what are your set points and your boundaries? And what do you want? These are all very, 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 very important facts because, addictions are everywhere. It's how you make you feel. We're all addicted to our social media threads at the best of times. How many times you catch yourself gossiping? How many times you catch yourself being judgmental on yourself? That's an addiction. How about this? How many times are you catching yourself being just in the space of lack? That's an addiction to your psychology. So addiction ... can go into many, many, many realms. So how do you bring this back? Okay? How do you bring this back to understanding where you are? What are you addicted to? Why is it important to pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, and what you're doing? Because the more you are in alignment with yourself, meaning that It's right, really, really close. Okay? It's not out there. It's here. Okay? How are you feeling right now? Being present is a space of addiction as well. Because the more present you are, the more you have a flush of endorphins, okay, that change, okay, the chemical or the chemistry inside those emotional waves, okay, of your cellular structure. What are you present to? Which emotion is triggering, okay, that space of altered alertness? Are you being drawn, okay, to doing good? Are you being drawn to feeling good? Are you being drawn, okay, to doing good? Or are you being drawn to be spiteful, to be vengeful, to be nasty, to be mean? Do you want to hurt somebody? That's an addiction. Okay? Because all it's going to do, it's going to come back, circle, boomerang right back. And then you want to hurt yourself. Because your core heart pulse, your space within your heart, okay, is to bring love to you and then to those you love. Not to hurt them, not to hate them, not to be spiteful to them, not to be mean. That's just another source of addiction. So addiction has an expansive vocabulary and emotional set point, okay, of so many words. It's weaved in so many realms and dimensions of self-understanding. And this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you. Where are you in this present moment? And if you are addicted, which I hope you are, okay, bring this addiction. What are you pointing your source of habits to? Be addicted to feeling good. Be addicted to loving yourself. Be addicted to saying kind words to yourself. Being addicted to something that makes you feel good evolves, because now it's now calling you not only to feel good, but now to do good. And in doing good, you're going to see things in a very, very different way. And your tolerance level, okay, is going to shift, okay, from being, feeling, doing to now having a vibrational set point, okay, that is now calling more of those aspects of yourself to evolve. Okay, Vanda, what did you just say there? I didn't hear you. I don't understand that. I do not know how to do that. I don't know what you mean. Those are internal triggers, okay, of the contrast of that addiction. It's a chemical reaction with you. Your self-development is dependent on how you are feeding yourself. If it just takes 3 days to flush out any toxic matter that doesn't serve your cellular structure, your body, okay, we can all do this. Why is there such a deficiency, okay, in our lives with addiction, drug addiction, alcohol, food addiction, so many addictions, okay, porn, food, meanness, all of it, gambling, all of these different things, and all of the realms that we're not talking about. So if 3 days we can flush this out, what is going on there? It's the way we're thinking. It's our mental capacity and ability, okay, to override these thoughts with an inner ability, okay, to feel good. People are suspending, okay, the way they feel to go and bring in other feelings that don't serve them, okay, because you're being just too loosey-goosey, or you don't have the muscle to do it. This is so important because addiction has been taken so out of context to bring fear into what we already know who we are. If our cells are renewing and rejuvenating and revitalizing, and all it takes is a discipline of 3 days, and we know that our minds are not disciplined and our thoughts are not disciplined, then we've got to bring an infrastructure of support into who we are being so that you can support yourself, right? So, how does this serve you today? Keep it simple. How do you feel? If it feels good, pay attention. Because if you're going to do something because you're wanting to de-stress yourself, okay, like your bills are overloading you, you don't want to go deal with a conversation, you might be taking your mind off your immediate, what you think realities are, and you're defaulting, you just need to escape, right? Well, then pay attention to that. Because as soon as you have gone away from your pick-me-up, you're going to go into a downer. So, and that's the difference between, how you're feeling and going into it. So often people go, oh, what's the difference between, being addicted to love and being addicted to sex? Very big difference. So it makes you feel, right? What's the difference between being addicted to, feeling good and being addicted to gossiping with your friends or a group? How does it make you feel? There's an addiction at every level. It's the way you are compounding your feelings and your thoughts. That's what creates the habits and the chemical exchanges in your cellular structure. The more you are in a zone with people you don't like, you will become what you don't like. That's an addiction. Good or bad, right or wrong, with no judgment, that's what it is. It's the science of it. So this conversation has gone very broad, and I want to keep it very simple because it's ... It starts with you and it ends with you. How are you thinking? Okay, what are you addicted to? Are you addicted to bad thoughts? Are you addicted to thinking negatively? Are you addicted to being compulsive in looking outwards versus inwards? Are you addicted to starting your day fighting? Are you addicted? What are you addicted to? So, right there, okay, just that there gives you that edge. It gives you that space of evaluation that now, right, I have the choice to turn this, and I want to be addicted to feeling good. Well, if that is the case, then you've got to go bring your own inner psychology of thought forms and start bringing in a higher sense of inner vision and discernment, okay, so that you can have a strong connection to how you share those thoughts with yourself. So that's a big one. That's a real, real big one. And I want to share that those things are: connection is your ray of light. Okay? So just feel that. Feels good. Build the muscle to be addicted to it. Let's go and try that and do that. Okay?
My name is Vandava.